Hey guys, are you familiar with— Yeah, you know what, never mind. The brand new DLC has just arrived for Pokemon Shield and Sword, and I decided I wanted to give my first impressions on this brand new DLC that's just arrived. But I also ran into a bit of a predicament. You all don't know my full opinion of this generation's games, so I figured we can do a quick recap so we can all go on our way and talk about the DLC, and you all have a better idea of what my full opinion of the game is. Right, so it's gonna be quick. Ready, go. Aw yeah, new generation. Wait, what do you mean, cutting the decks? Give me decks or give me death. Do not buy! Alright, fine, I'll buy the stupid game. Game Freak, honey, I'm tired of this toxic relationship that we have.
Oh my god, that's so fucking adorable.
Oh, great. Bootleg Team Skull. Nestla, what in the absolute fuck? Oh, well, a Dark-type gym leader's pretty neat. Nestla, you could have waited one more fucking day. Are we done yet? Oh my god. Slight overreaction. I ultimately thought the game was okay. Not bad, but I also don't feel like it holds up to the past titles other than graphics and some quality of life changes. But yeah, DLC, isn't that something? Now we are outright saying what it is instead of making a quote-unquote new game and charging full price for it. Though that $30 charge is a bit of a yikes for me. You don't even get the full version as of now, you have to wait till winter. Hashtag November Gang. Now while I'm much happier with Game Freak going down this route, I just wonder, is the DLC even worth it? Well, I guess I should be saying right now, is it worth it? Because again, we don't even get to have the rest of the version, and you're not able to purchase them separately. I know Game Freak has been in some hot water as of late, like Jesus Christ! So does this DLC do enough right to try to get back some good faith into the company? Well, let's find out. Also, full disclosure, I'm going to be spoiling this game, though there isn't any real plot twist or deep storytelling. Though if that really bothers you, then please skip to the time shown on this screen. Now I'm playing Shield version because I like this wolf's design more, and I also don't like the color light blue. Just for added clarification. But yeah, Avery, man, gotta say, really enjoyed him. He's the first person you meet on the Isle of Armor, and I just love his personality. He's essentially a tryhard, trying to one-up you, except instead of being needlessly edgy, he makes these over-exaggerated faces that just crack me up. Seriously, someone make a meme out of this goddamn face. Though that's all the interesting characters on the island for me. I can't even tell you what defining personality Honey is supposed to be. And then there's Mustard, who I like, just because I enjoy the kind old mentor character type, but the main story is just there, if you want to call it like that. When you arrive, you take 3 challenges, and they are all pretty easy. 2 out of 3 are just fetch quests. And after you complete the 3 trials, you get access to Kubfu, who you have to raise its happiness to a certain level to progress. Now, you can put a Soothe Bell on it and battle like you're probably supposed to, or just feed it curry non-stop till you reach maximum happiness. Look at all this curry I made you! Eat it! Eat it all! Love me! Also, I don't know if this is required or if I just didn't reach maximum happiness after force-feeding Kubfu, but in order to become besties, you're supposed to go to these select areas and show Kubfu the beautiful scenery. Wow. After that, you're finally able to select which style you want for your Kubfu. After that, you're finally able to select which style you want your Kubfu to evolve into, at either the Tower of Darkness or the Tower of Waters. I chose Water, and after some pretty easy fights, you're able to finally evolve Kubfu into Urshifu. And after that, the story is even more inconsequential. Hop arrives, and after you go on some small fetch quests, you fight Mustard one last time to beat the DLC. See, look, it says it right there. Again, it's a very simple story, and I probably could have just looked over this, but I didn't, so I'll give the story this. It's an excuse to see most of the island, which I find is actually visually interesting. This is the kind of environment the original Wild area should have had. The caverns, the oceans. This place can have some stunning sights. One of the first things you're greeted to is a Wailord in the distance. Even from where you're first standing, you feel so small. The sense of scale is incredible. That is, until you go up to it, fight it, and remember, oh right, Pokemon are scaled down during fights. So I caught it, named it False Adverty because I can't fit false advertisement, and away in a box it goes, you sack of shit. But yeah, this place looks pretty good sometimes. One of the fetch quests involves you returning a Lilligant to its child, and instead of actively running to get it over with, I simply walked and enjoyed the scenery. No, don't you do it. Don't ruin this for me. Don't, oh, you wanna go? But this DLC also brings with it a free update that reintroduces a bunch of old Pokemon to the decks. And while I only use Pokemon that were currently in the Galar decks, it did bring a smile on my face to be using a bunch of old Pokemon from my past game adventures and traveling with them again. Man, it's great to have the opportunity to use Roundabout, Jello, Or maybe Stoven? Or how about... It's not what you think, I swear.
Liar!
I ultimately ended up using this team, just because A, I haven't used some of them in a while, or it just felt like they didn't get a chance to shine in previous playthroughs. Except Free Fallen, my Nuzlocke survivor. Oh, how I love thou. And thanks to level scaling, it seems like you can bring any level Pokemon and have the game scale with your Pokemon level. Though I don't know to what extent. It seems to be at least in the level 70s. Though if you have a lower level Pokemon, you can always just use the broken rare candy system to level them up quick. That's what I did for Hicks and Cubfu, because I don't have time to train them normally. Have some diabetes, I don't feel like grinding. But the game also reintroduces following Pokemon. Yeah, isn't that just nice? Slowpoke is slow, Butterfree looks to be average but still gets left behind, and some just jet right after you depending on the certain distance. Oh god, Sasha, no! Though when riding on a bike, you just leave them behind. And if you get too far, they just pop behind you, only to get left behind again. I feel like at that point they should just stay in their Pokeballs while on the bike. But it did lead into an unintentionally hilarious moment. I just rode my bike into the ocean and I just left Cubfu stranded on an island. That face just says it all. But other than that, there are people on the island you can talk to like you could in the wild area. Though I generally ignore most of them. There's a digger lady who exchanges for Armorite ore, which you use to get exclusive moves, by the way. Will try to dig up more for you. However, she has a chance of messing up. And if she does, she loses both the ore that she was digging up and the ore that she found perfectly fine. Where the hell did my ore go? Also, there's this guy who lost 151 of his Alolan Diglets and asked you to find them. I said yes, only to turn around and ghost him because I'm an asshole. Joking aside, the Diglets aren't that hard to find. And for each one you find, a number ticks down to tell you how many are left in the area. And they aren't exactly hard to find either. You'll honestly find a lot of them just on the main path alone. But I didn't feel like looking all over for these little guys. You probably get a good reward for finding them all, but I didn't feel like spending the next 3 hours looking for these Diglets, because I'm a bad reviewer. I finally gave up talking to people after this one girl exclaimed she found a cool Pokemon that I had to fork over 500 watts to see, only for it to be a Jigglypuff. Yes, the coolest Pokemon. Motherfucking Jigglypuff. Speaking of watts, you're able to go to Honey and spend all your watts on upgrades to the dojo. And when I mean all your watts, I mean all your watts, cause this lady just stole my credit card and drained the account. For mostly damn vending machines. Also, her son Hyde builds a Cramorant machine, and you put 4 items in, specifically berries, to get a different item. So I put 4 berries in and I get a rock. Thanks. But that's about all I can think of that's noteworthy to bring up in this review. Now the question is this DLC worth it? Well, yes and no. While this DLC does breathe a bit of a new life in this controversial game, I don't feel like it does enough for its $30 price tag. However, if you were able to buy them separately for like $15 or better yet, $10, then I would definitely give a yes if you're a major fan of the franchise, or just love this game. But if you're low on funds, or just not a major Pokemon fan, then it might be better to skip this for the time being. Whenever the Crown Tundra comes around, my opinion may change because we actually have the full DLC at this time, but for now, you can just skip it. Besides, if you have a friend or just straight online, you're still able to obtain the new Pokemon that are now in the decks again. But yeah, that's my full opinion of the DLC. I don't really know how to end this video, so